Welcome to the Nicholson Heritage Association's video showing the progression of the interior and exterior work of the historic railroad station in Nicholson, Pennsylvania. The station, called the Nicholson Tourism Center at the historic Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western Railroad Station, is a landmark that's been mostly unchanged for almost 175 years. The Nicholson Heritage Association purchased the station in 2012 with a Pepsi Refresh grant and donations from individuals and local businesses. In late 2014, the Nicholson Heritage Association was awarded a PennDOT grant through their Transportation Alternatives program under the Historic Transportation Building category. The PennDOT grant covered the station's renovations, while the association had to cover the costs for a feasibility study, designs, and interior furniture. Through additional significant financial support from the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, Endless Mountains Heritage Region, Endless Mountains Visitors Bureau, Wyoming County Commissioners and History Alive, and the Tom E. Daly Foundation, the Nicholson Heritage Association was able to complete the historic preservation and community development project. In addition, we received many donations from businesses and individuals. In 1849, a predecessor railroad, the Liggett's Gap Railroad, began surveying for a rail line from Scranton, Pennsylvania to Great Bend, Pennsylvania, and construction on the first and largest railroad station on the line began in Nicholson. In 1855, the local U.S. Post Office was moved to the station, at which time the name of the settlement was changed from Baconville, sometimes referred to as Bacontown, to Nicholson. Before handling freight and passenger service, the station initially housed workers who worked on the Scranton to Great Bend line. In May 1878, the first telephone service in northeastern Pennsylvania was opened between the station in Nicholson and the DL&W station in Scranton, about 21 miles south. The station was a combination freight and passenger station until 1915. After that, it was used for freight only, as the then new passenger station opened next to the Taconic Creek Viaduct, also known as the Taconic Viaduct or the Nicholson Bridge, to locals, when the Clark Summit Halstead Cutoff was opened to service in November 1915. The cutoff was built to shorten the DL&W main rail line from Scranton, Pennsylvania to Binghamton, New York by 3.6 miles, lessen the steep grades that had previously required pusher engines, and straighten the rail line. The DL&W president at the time, William H. Truesdale, was looking for ways to build upon previous efforts to modernize the railroad. The station continued to handle freight service even after the DL&W Railroad merged with the Erie Railroad in 1960. Due to financial hardship, the Erie-Lackawanna Railroad, the merged railroad, closed the station in 1971. The station was sold to a local business in 1983 and in private use until purchased by the Nicholson Heritage Association. As a locally significant example of mid-19th century railroad architecture, the station was deemed eligible to be listed in the National Register of Historic Places in 2014. The Nicholson Tourism Center at the historic DL&W Railroad Station will help revitalize the region by attracting tourists to the station, the Taconic Creek Viaduct, Nicholson, historic Taconic, Wyoming County, and the Endless Mountains.